Fourth edition of our Global Speakers. I'm very, very delighted to present to you a very, very dear friend who I've known for, I would say, nearly 30 years. He's my classmate from SP Jain. I'd just like to tell you very quickly a little bit about him. And one of the things, just to tell you, we've done a switch. So Mansi is actually was unable for a very urgent meeting, and so she's going to be flipping over to Friday next week. And Samir, who was supposed to do it on Friday, is going to flip this to today. So there's a slight change in the order. So Mansi will join us on Friday. We have Samir Saraiya. So Samir is, this a fabulous guy, someone you would die to meet. He just enthuses with ideas. He's like, I would call the idea factory. He's the CEO of Digital eLife, has 20 years experience in the internet, mobile and media industries, specializing in business development, sales, product and strategy. He's been a serial innovator, and you will hear about that, and leader across different organizations, having launched pioneering products, conceived innovative partnerships, and built new revenue streams for some of the world's largest organizations. Samir launched ThatsPersonal.com, India's leading sexual wellness e-commerce destination in 2013. He was ranked among the top 25 most talented e-commerce professionals in India by CMO, which is the Chief Marketing Officer Asia. While ThatsPersonal.com received an award for the most innovative e-commerce category by E-tailing India. So there is a whole host of awards Samir has won as a marketeer. Samir relocated to Singapore in 2008 and worked for Microsoft. Who doesn't know Microsoft? And he was the lead business development for mobile communications business group across Greater Asia Pacific. Prior to his Singapore assignment, Samir was the product head of Microsoft Windows Live Services and business development head for the online services business division in India. I mean, there are so many countries Samir and I have, worked and lived together. I used to see him. He used to go very, very often to Seattle, which is the headquarters of Microsoft. So Samir and I have, partied in New York, in London, in Singapore, in Hong Kong, in Macau, of course, India. So we've been together for a long time. Samir joined Yahoo India in 2003, where he was responsible for creating new revenue streams across the internet and mobile divisions. Samir has a rich experience in the media industry. He headed business development for Midday Group's digital assets. He also worked at Times of India Group. He worked with the Vice Chairman's office, overseeing business strategy across the group's media properties, including India Times, the Economic Times, and Bombay Times. I'm sure you guys are reading these newspapers. He also worked with Japan's Sumitomo Corporation, where he handled the portfolios ranging from trading, greenfield group projects to investment banking. So a guy who's in media, who's got into one of the world's largest trading corporations, to investment banking, worked all across the world. He received his MBA from SP Jain Institute of Management, my classmate, and he did his schooling at Cathedral John and Conant School in Mumbai. He's a big sports person, and he has the big distinction, and I'm sure no other person who's going to be talking to you. He has represented India in international rugby tournaments and appointed the manager of the Indian rugby team. So I'm sure many of you would have heard about rugby. It's a very intense sport, and he was the manager of the Indian team. So it's equivalent to having Ravi Shastri for cricket on our call. So we are delighted to have Samir join us. So I'm going to curate some questions for you. There are quite a few. So the first question is, I want to pursue marketing. What are the qualities I need to have?
My answer is that today, marketing has changed a lot. The whole business world has changed so much. with the availability of data and understanding how data operates and being very data-centric business decisions. So marketing is important. Obviously, there is the Philip Kotlers of the world. You have those skill sets. You need to be passionate about the subject. You want to read about the subject. You need to look at case studies, and you need to develop that kind of an inborn capability of saying that yes, what are the things that I would like to do and execute on. But what I'm also trying to share is that it's also an evolving world where just being focused on marketing is not enough today. You need to have a very strong depth in marketing. But I would honestly feel, and that's true, whether it's marketing, whether it's finance, whether it's manufacturing, whether it's IT services, all these things are really, really important. But what's also really important is having absolutely cross-functional skills. That from a marketing aspect, you've understood finance, you've understood purchase, you've understood costing, you've understood manufacturing, you've understood data and analytics, you've understood the IT side of it. And I feel that today, the people who are coming out of MBA schools and coming out and the kind of people who are able to succeed are not the ones which are totally purely focused in any one singular subject, but people who have a depth of that subject, but a very strong cross-functional skills across many others. So I'm not sure whether I've answered your question correctly, but I just looking at the people in my office and the people who come to us, we kind of encourage people to have these skill sets to able to look at problems and solutions from a 360 degree and not from a single line focus.
Great. Thanks. The other one is I want to be an entrepreneur. So how do I keep improving my skill sets, across the board? How do I get better at being a good entrepreneur?
So an entrepreneur to me is someone who can A, spot an idea, B, have the basic skills to execute on the idea, and to take that idea from a certain level of, let's say, a pure 0 on 10 to a scale of whatever number that comes. Having that is a lot of passion, a lot of capability, and it's something that you need to, absolutely have an inborn sense of achievement. That you're a person who says that, whatever comes in front of me, and believe me, I'll give you that's personal as an example. Take any of these examples that I've shared with you. It's very easy for you to say, oh my God, you know what? This is too difficult and I can't do it. What I feel an entrepreneur has, as most of the entrepreneurs that I've seen, they have a clear goal. And that goal comes from challenging themselves. For me, when I did Dance Ganesh, there were many people, I believe me, who laughed at my concept. They said, what nonsense are you talking, Samir? You're going to have a Visarjan with electronic dance music and you are going to expect people to come and dance? Please talk sense. And I said, you know what? I want to prove it to them that this can happen. I want to prove it to the world. I want everyone to look at me and say, Samir said this last year and he actually did it this year. I think that is what entrepreneurship is about, and it's really, again, I think, having this very high sense of belief and passion. I'm going to give you one quote. I'm sure you all have seen this movie called Slumdog Millionaire, which came out, I don't know, maybe 10 years back or something close to that, and they won many, many Academy Awards. So the producer and director, they gave a quote saying that when we started this project, we had nothing except two things: belief and passion. And soon we realized that if we have belief and passion, there's nothing else that we need. Everything else will come our way. And I really like that line because they actually created a magic out of something. Like the most basic story of Kon Bana Crorepati, but they created magic out of it. And in order to do that, I think it's just something that you need to keep having a strong mind to challenge yourselves. Read some of the stories that entrepreneurs have gone through. Read some of the challenges they've gone through. And I think that will help you in terms of self-motivating yourself and really understanding of when walls come around me, how do I look at them and what do I need to do? What are those creative ways that one can find solutions for?
Great. A lot of questions are on challenges you faced, whether it was government. So how do you deal with challenges when they come in front of you?
So, there is something that over a period I've kind of worked on is that when you get a challenge, okay, what I do is I don't react immediately. The Dance Ganesh, there were challenges around the whole police permission of doing something like this. And, many obstacles that do come your way is to address it over a period of time. Maybe you take 24 hours, sometimes you take 48 hours if you have that time luxury, but assess it from 360 degrees and always look at what is that creative solution. Think of a creative solution because there's no other solution that is possible. You don't have the resources to throw money and solve a problem. You may not have a team that can help you diagnose and add, a level of consultancy to it. There are many things that you have to really think on your feet and try and analyze and say, if I do this, what can happen? If I do that, what can happen? And there's a lot of games you play with your mind in terms of how that decision can affect you in terms of what could happen next and after that and after that and after that. And I think that over a period of time, yes, the creativity of the mind helps in many ways where you say, okay, fine, let me lie and look at the solution this way. But the only answer I can give you is that you have to do it with a cool mind. If you do it without a cool mind, believe me, you could have potential problems in front of you. You do your thinking, brainstorming, analyzing, creative solutions. You just need to have a cool mind, and they'll come to you over a period of time of how to develop that inbuilt.
Okay. How do you protect your idea if you to share it with investors?
So my view is very simple that ideas are dime a dozen. Really, really, the ideas are dime a dozen. And there are very, very few people today who take an idea. People are not ready to just take up somebody else's idea and go through the entire ordeal of execution. And as I said, any of these ideas which I've shared today, or many of the many others which I've not shared today, there are going to be a lot of challenges and obstacles. Like the last question you asked me, of what happens when situations when challenges come your way. Someone who takes somebody else's idea doesn't have that absolute passion to make sure that it's going to achieve success come what may. They don't have that in them. And I feel that today if you guys do have that, then feel confident to go and share your idea, because most of these things are done today. Most ideas are executed by teams. There's very rarely a single individual who has done end to end. He's always taken support from people, friends, family, work colleagues, and so on and so forth to really enrich it. And I'm sure that those investor communities, etc., would want you to be part of it, because when you think of that idea and when you discuss it and you get feedback, you have already crossed so many milestones in your mind. You've already anticipated what so many challenges could be. Believe me, when your friends come to you and say, okay, that's your idea, have you thought of this? Have you thought of that? What happens if people don't buy it? What happens if something else happens? You've already revolved that so many times in your mind that you are way ahead of the rest of the guy who's hearing it for the first time. So don't be worried. Fine, you might have an idea saying that, I have an idea for Taj Hotels to give rooms today to give room for, let's say, 12 hours and not a 24 hours. Just a silly idea I'm just thinking of. And Taj says that, yeah, of course we can do it, but why do we need you for it? Believe me, you'll be surprised, because there's so many things that go with it, of how do you price it, what happens in this situation, suppose someone misuses it, X, Y, Z, that you've already brainstormed, you've already analyzed, you've already got solutions for. So I feel you shouldn't worry. And you should also have this pride in you that you're capable of sharing ideas with people and being able to defend them. You're able to defend them, and to defend them comes with a lot of discussion and feedback. So when you go and meet this whoever CEO of whichever company or whichever venture capital guy, and you share the idea, you're able to defend it. That's when someone says, "Wow, this guy's smart," or "This girl is smart. She knows her concepts very well. She's thought 360 degrees across the concept. She's really evolved in her idea." And that's not something that someone can do for the first time.
Great.
Yeah.
A question is, will they see you in campus? They'd like to hear more from you and get your advice.
Anytime, definitely. UBS. I would love to come to UBS. In fact, I will be coming over the next few months, and I'm very, very happy to also have a special session where people can come to me sharing their thoughts and ideas about anything. Seriously, it can be the bloody how to do a better job of the gutter in Karja because it's smelling. I'm damn happy to hear it. I'm damn happy to hear it, not only in terms of how you thought of it, why you want to solve that problem, how did you react, and how, what is the thoughts, feedbacks you've got, what is the solution you have in your mind, how do you really take that solution from that first initial writing on pen on paper or Word document or Excel, how do you really made it into a kind of a PowerPoint presentation, a video, a script, and so on and so forth, where you have that confidence to go and pitch it. Love to ask you difficult questions and see how your capabilities of answering it. So most definitely I will come to campus. Love to do a half day, full day session on this. But I really want you guys to, it's voluntary. Those of you who want to try out this concept, I'm very happy to hear you out and help you to kind of build the internal process within you to work on an execution plan, irrespective of what the idea is. Seriously, irrespective.
Thanks. So Samir, now we've got many questions and running out of time, so I want quick answers. The
Okay, sorry.
first one is, how was your family comfortable with this idea of That's Personal?
Okay, this is not a short answer. I'm sorry, Tarun, this is not a short answer. So this is a tough one because the single biggest issue I had was how would I face family and friends? You know, it's very easy for you to say, I'm going to launch a sex product website. But then you have to think and say, what happens when, people around me, will I be the laughing stock of society? And one interesting example I'm giving you is that my wife, the same girl who signed the prenup agreement with me and who wanted to get a painting, she comes from a Jain family. A Jain family today, they don't eat non-veg, they don't drink alcohol, they are very kind of religious and so on and so forth. And after I launched and I was all over the news, my wife told me, listen, we have to go for this family function. And I said, are you mad? There's no way I'm going to go for this family function. You know what I've launched there? I can't come there and face everyone. So her mother called me and said, no, Samir, you have to come for this family function and no one will say anything. If anyone says anything, I will protect you. So I said, okay, fine. I went very sheepishly. It was a Sunday afternoon function. And to my surprise, everybody at that family function, age 18, 18 to 80, had already been to my website. And not only had they seen everything, but they came to me with ideas and saying, Samir, I saw your website, but that lubricant, you must say that it has vegetarian ingredients. You must say that. Then people like Jains can also buy it. And I swear it was so funny. It was so funny and such a shocker to me that this side of the family all took it very well. So yes, I did have obviously have challenges. I had many sleepless nights initially. But once I went, I said, let me give it 6 months. Let me see if it works. It doesn't work. If it doesn't work, it's okay. I tried something. It didn't really happen. But I got a lot of self-confidence. In fact, once you get a little bit of success, you get a lot of self-confidence. And many people came back saying, it's a brilliant idea and well executed. And I think the only way is up. So I came over that. I hope that answers that question.
So is it necessary to have a business plan?
I think it's important to have a business plan. It's important to, as I said, understand the challenge and the solution from many different angles. I'm not a big believer in someone making a massive, very extensive model of what the business plan is. But I feel that a business plan really consists of understanding the solution, being able to articulate it, being able to write it down, being able to add some mixtures to it in terms of numbers, be able to understand things like what would be the FAQs when you go and share this idea, understanding feedback, making it richer and richer. And that's what I call a business plan, where you're equipped to go with confidence to talk to someone as high as the CEO of any company and say, this is what I feel your company should be doing. These are the reasons why they should be doing it. Come attack me with any reason that you feel it should not be done. I'm happy to defend it. That's what the whole thing together comes to something known as the business plan.
Great. How do you manage people smarter and more intelligent than you?
I absolutely love them. I depend on them. I absolutely depend on them because they take away so much of, so many of the problems that they are able to handle on their own and don't have to I don't have to kind of handhold them and so on and so forth. So, there are many things that say always hire people smarter than you. And really what that means is that if there is a marketing job, your skill sets in marketing are, let's say, I don't know, 65 on 100 or 75 on 100. When you're hiring that marketing guy, he should be better than you at marketing. He doesn't have to be smarter than you overall, but he should definitely be better, because if he's not better than what your skills are, then you made a mistake, because you can't work with that guy. You're always going to tell him what to do, what not to do, how to do. And the guy is going to also listen to you, say, yeah, that guy is smarter than me. Let me listen to him. And then why the hell did you hire him? You have to hire the guy who's much smarter than you and say, listen, this is what I think we should have. The guy says, no, Samir, you're absolutely wrong. This is what we should get and how. And I'll deliver it to you. So, I love it. And I look for people who are bloody smart and bloody confident, yeah. And it eases all my pain.
Great. So if you have a product and competitor which is similar, how do you, in a competitive market, beat that competitor?
So there are many ways to do that, and there's again both sides want to be number one. Both sides are going to understand each other's strengths and weaknesses. And I think that's very, very important. I don't think there's any competitor which has all the strengths and that you don't. I mean, whether it's up against a Microsoft, you can be up against a Google, but we're still up against an Amazon. They have tremendous strengths, but there are also tremendous challenges and weaknesses that they have. I've worked with Microsoft, and I know how difficult decision making is in Microsoft, how much time it takes, and so on and so forth. Whereas if you're on your own, it's much faster. So while every company has a set of strengths, they also have a set of weaknesses. And it's important to analyze your competitor strengths and weaknesses, and also to understand and reflect upon yours. And that's a constant exercise, and it's a dynamic world, and one has to constantly look at this. And there are always things that can be done. And there's always things that one needs to be careful of. Even if you're the leader today, you always have to be careful that someone's going to do it better than you, because they are more determined to do it better than you, and you can't be the best at everything. So how do you, look after your backside on this? Yeah.
Great. Sam, I know you've got to go, so you've gone over the time, 15 minutes. So thanks once again.
Everyone.
Just have to read one comment for you. This was the most inspiring talk. Thank you, UBS. Samir Saraiya, mad respect, and you are a legend. I'm jotting down every asinine idea that pops in my head. So I think you've got the whole audience, the students really up that they can believe that their ideas can win. There were lots of questions which I couldn't get to, but they said, I have an idea in this industry, that industry, so on. And I would say that they can actually come and pitch it to you as you volunteered. So then we'll get in, because every industry's dynamics are different. So I couldn't go to each industry, but some of the great comments, it was one of the best sessions. Please do come to UBS, and great session, great having a conversation. Thank you. So just want to say thanks, Samir, for spearheading as usual. You're the idea king who can turn a idea into actual dollars, and I think that's an inspiration for all of us. And so thank you once again for giving us your valuable time, and look forward to seeing you on campus.
Great. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Really appreciate it. And we'll see you, all of you all in person very, very soon. Let's hope this lockdown ends. Let's hope UBS starts. And I look forward to seeing you all sometime this year.